Now let's have the example, which is x squared over 25 minus y squared over 36 is equal to 1. So the first thing that you have to do is we have to find the a, b, and c. And to get the value of a, you have to do a squared is equal to square root of 25, which is equal siya og 5. Then b squared is equal to square root of 36, that would be 6. To get the c, you have to use the formula square root of b squared plus a squared. So next, you have to substitute the values. So b squared 36 and a squared is equals to 25. Then you have to add. That would be 61. And square root of 61 is approximately, you have to calculate that. So the result is 7.8. So we now have the value of a, b, and c. So the first thing that we have to look at is the orientation. So sa orientation, ang una na itong i-find out kay ang transverse axis niya. So which is kanang x may naguna. So meaning the transverse axis would be horizontal, and then if y ang gauna, y squared, that would be vertical. We're gonna have to solve the b squared over a is equals to 35 over 5. Okay, substitute rin na. And then divide, that will become approximately 7.2. So the next step, we have to find the foci or the focus of the hyperbola. So the formula is positive and negative c and 0. So again, you have to substitute to get the fc and f2. So as you can see, the c is 7.8, so that will be 7.8 and 0. And the other is negative 7.8 and 0. So the next step would be to find the vertices, and the formula is positive and negative a and 0. So now that we have the formula, we have to proceed the substitution. So for a, we have 5. Okay, ano solve nato sa a is 5, and sa usa is negative 5 and 0. So, okay, manaman ta sa foci and first vertices, we now proceed to endpoints of the conjugate axis. So, ang conjugate axis niya is kanang itong perpendicular sa transverse axis, which is the horizontal. So, ang formula is 0 and positive, negative b. If you're wondering where not to i-plot ang conjugate axis sa graph, I will be showing you later on na lang. So, you have to substitute sa b. So, it will become 6 and negative 6. As for the endpoints of the latus rectum, we will be showing you the formula first, which is positive and negative c and positive and negative b squared over a. And then again, you have to substitute the c values and the b squared over a. So for the equation of the asymptotes sad kay, the formula is y is equal to positive and negative b over a x. Then you're gonna substitute again. Y is equals to 6 over 5x and y is equals to negative 6 over 5 because ang sign niya kay negative ug positive. So now we have to plot the graph, and so the first thing is the foci. So that's why nasha dira sa gi-plotter na nako. Then the endpoints of the conjugate axis, as I said, kanang perpendicular sa transverse axis, so now siya sa y-axis. And then ang latus rectum mao nang upat. After that, you have to like connect gali sa LR hantod sa vertices, and like pagbutang lang ang broken line nga mara gig box nga ga-connect sa vertices to kanang conjugate axis. And then you have to put the next line, which is ang ginatawag na to nga asymptotes. Walang na tarong og kuan sa center, but muna. So this is the graph of the equation x squared over 25 minus y squared over 36 equals to 1. Let's move on to h and k. The example is x minus 3 squared over 9 minus y plus 2 squared over 16 is equals to 1. 1 guys. So you have to find the a, square root of 9, then 3. Then the b squared, 16, and then 4. For the C or the foci, you're gonna have to use this formula, a squared plus b squared, same as sa katong origin. Then substitute, add, and then the square root of 25 is equals to 5. Now let's move on to the LR, which you're gonna have to use the formula of b squared over a, then substitute. So it will become 16 over 3, then divide 5.33. Now that we're done with the LR, you have to solve the endpoints of the lattice rectum. So the first LR, you have to use the formula H minus C and K plus LR. Then substitute the values. You have negative 3 minus 5. And the K, that would be 2, LR 5.33. Then that would be 8 and 3.33. As for the LR number 2, you have to use the formula again, but this time change nimo ang sign. So substitute, and then you have to negative 8 minus 5, that would be 8. 2 minus 5.33 is equals to 3.33. The LR3, again, you have to copy the formula but change the signs. So substitute. So the LR3 would be 2 and 7.33. As for the LR number 4, again, you have to copy the formula but change the signs in order to get the LR. And then substitute. And the LR4 would be 2 and negative 3.33. And now that we're done with the endpoints of latus rectum, let's move on to asymptotes. So the formula would be y minus k is equal to positive and negative BA times x minus h. And then after you have to substitute, so that will be y minus 2 is equal to 4 over 3 of x minus 3, and the other is y minus 2 is equal to negative 4 over 3 times x minus 3. Now let's move on to the next step, which is we have to find the electricity. We're gonna use the formula E is equal to C over A. So substitute lang. So that will be 5 over 3. The next part, we're gonna have to plot the answers sa graph. So there's y and the x-axis. First, we have to find the center. So as you can see man, ang kananderang given is negative 3 ang x and ang y is positive 2. So you have to plot that. And then let's go on with the vertices, which is kaning A. So ang meaning na 3 units away from the center. So i-plot na to 1, 2, 3 sa first vertices or the vertices sub 1. Then you have to write the sa siya na locate. As for the vertices number 2 or second, you're gonna do the same thing but kanang naalan sa pikas. So you have to again locate. Then let's move on to the foci. So as you can see, ang C na to is 5. Same thing, 5 units away from the center. So dapat nasa sud since foci man or focus. Managi-plot na ang foci. And then sa usasad sa pikas na side. 5 units away from the center. Then locate. And now let's move on to the co-vertices, which is kanang nasolve na to sa B. B4, that means 4 units away from the center. Since horizontal man, so perpendicular, that means naa sa babaw, like sa y-axis ni mo i-locate. That means 4 units away from the center. And you have to connect, like magput ka og broken line nga nagkuan og box para maklaro nimo kung asa nimo ibutang ang asymptotes later. And then now let's move on to the endpoints of the latus rectum. So kana ang mga answer, mao na ang imo ipamplot. Ang LR1, that would be 8 and 7.3. 7.33. So you have to locate naasayop ka dira na negative 8. Negative 8 na, not positive 8. So again, gilocate ang first LR, which is negative 8 and 7.33. And the LR2, that would be negative 8 and negative 3.33. And so LR number 3, that would be 2 and 7.33. You have to plot na, ana. And then lastly, sa LR number 4, which is 2 and negative 3.33. Platter na nimo. And then the next thing that you have to do is connect na sa LR hantod sa vertices. And then i-connect na nimo, like magbutang kag marag X dira nga nag-indicate sa asymptotes. So this will be the final graph for x minus 3 squared over 9 minus y plus 2 squared over 16 is equal to 1.
Hyperbolas are just numbers. Radio telescope as collect dishes use hyperbolic shape to collect signals. Some comets in space often follow hyperbolic orbits, and in the architecture and sound wave, you'll find hyperbolas hiding.
So the next time you connect to Wi-Fi, watch the night sky or hear an echo in a dome, remember you are experiencing the power of a hyperbola. Math isn't just on paper, it's shaping the world around us. Thank you for being with us on this journey.
And now, the Math Blossoms are signing off.